Bro, this is security right now. Hi, oh, it's waving! Wow.
I'm just patrolling the area. I came from the 235 Mitchell Alley.
Okay. Well, you have a good one.
Have a great night, officer.
You too.
What's up? This is crazy, bro. Technology, bro. Can you wait one more time for me? That's crazy, bro.
Bro, this is security right now.
All right, Shalom Israel. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashim Yahawashi, Bahashim Rakah Quadash, for allowing me to do another lesson. Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahawashi is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and his new God beside them. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit, and salutations to the elect whom the Lord have given ears to hear. Now, I was watching our brother Baquar Mouth. He was going into what's going on in the Iran-Israel-America fiasco, and he had mentioned this, as well. So as a fellow watchman, I decided to look it up, and as you see, this is in Atlanta. It says keeping Atlanta streets safe. Now, I asked the chat, I said, why are robots in Atlanta, Georgia? Robots are in Atlanta, Georgia, primarily for automated food delivery via partnerships with Uber Eats and Starship Technologies on campuses, and for AI-powered security patrolling in high crime areas. Those high crime areas are predominantly you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you Israelites. It says these deployments aim to improve efficiency in the Silicon Peach, reduce traffic congestion, and provide lower cost security. So this is on National Today. So it says Atlanta deploys AI-powered robot dogs for 24/7 neighborhood patrols. The city's high crime areas are monitored by autonomous surveillance machines that can identify suspicious activity. Atlanta has started deploying AI-powered robot dogs equipped with cameras, thermal imaging sensors, and advanced object recognition technology to patrol the city's high-crime neighborhoods 24/7. The mechanical canines provided by companies like Cobalt Robotics and Undaunted Robotic Security can navigate streets independently, identify suspicious activity, and broadcast audio commands when situations escalate. While city officials tout the robots as a cost-effective way to provide public safety, civil liberties groups warn about the risk of unchecked surveillance and algorithmic bias. And that's definitely what's going to happen. Algorithmic bias. Let's look that up. I mean, hell. algorithmic bias occurs when computer systems reflect human prejudices, producing unfair, discriminatory outcomes. Okay, and hell, we've been racially profiled all this time. Why would it stop? Salakia, 1 second. So it says why it matters. The use of autonomous surveillance robots. All right, Salakia, got sidetracked, but yeah, I mean it should, because algorithmic bias pretty much rages prejudices based upon behavior. And I mean, if this is a high crime area, it's obvious, the behavior of the people, at least if not all, at least majority, because it's normally not all, but at least majority is wild and unstable. And it's only a matter of time before these robots become armed. All right? Because I mean, at this point it's just there to observe and report. But eventually, as this devil brings in his NWO, these 15-minute smart and safe cities, then he's going to have to do something to clean it up. All right, and as we see, what they're doing now is they're taking away people and replacing them with robots. Like I said, this is an Edomite invention. You already know how that's going to turn out. I mean, Esau himself, has been known to be biased and therefore react harshly against our people. How much more his invention, which is essentially an extension of him. And then the article reads on, it says, the use of autonomous surveillance robots in public spaces raises significant concerns about privacy, civil liberties, and the potential for abuse of these technologies. As more cities explore similar programs, there are growing debates about the appropriate balance between public safety and individual freedoms. The details. Atlanta has deployed an initial fleet of robot dogs from Cobalt's Robotic and Undaunted Robotics Security to patrol high crime areas of the city. These AI-powered machines are equipped with HD cameras, thermal imaging sensors, and advanced object recognition capabilities that allow them to identify suspicious activity and respond accordingly. The robots navigate streets independently and can broadcast audio commands to deter or de-escalate situations. Okay, but you dealing with a like Yahweh told Ezekiel. I believe it was Ezekiel. He said, "They will not hear you, for they didn't listen to me." So you're dealing with a stiff-necked people, right? So again, this devil, as is also written, he's going to have to come down having great wrath. All right. City officials claim the robot dogs are a more cost-effective solution than traditional human security patrols. But civil liberty groups warn about the risk of unchecked surveillance and algorithmic bias. So now, let's do a quick search on these companies, Cobalt Robotics and Undaunted Security. Now, one of the companies, right, Cobalt Robotics, it says under the use cases, their robots protect intellectual property, monitors for hazards, enforces policies, and conducts patrols. So I wonder what that means. And we're going to see this more and more throughout the, in these various cities. That caught my eye. And when we go to Psalm 64, it says, and 1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. You see? And this is a part of them shooting at us. Let's look up that word shoot. It says to throw, to cast, to point out, show, to throw water. It says the Strong's definition, that is to rain. Transitively, to lay or throw, especially an arrow, that is to shoot. Figuratively, to point out, as if by aiming the finger. So they have their eyes set against you Israelites, man. You're the problem. Whether you like it or not. They've always seen you as a problem, and they always will see you as the problem. Let's look up something else. Smart cities.
Operated to a great extent for the last 15 years. I can't.
Right, so it says, by 2030, smart cities aim to dramatically reduce crime and enhance public safety through the integration of Internet of Things devices, artificial intelligence, and data analytics, with some projections estimating a 30 to 40% reduction in crime and enhanced emergency response times. While zero crime is a utopian aspiration, the 2030 agenda focuses on creating secure, resilient urban environments where technologies such as AI-powered surveillance, gunshot detection, and real-time data monitoring are designed to prevent, detect, and respond threats rapidly. If I'm not mistaken, that gunshot detection been around for a while. All right? So yeah, these devils are setting up that trap against you Israelites, man. Oh fuck, no wonder it's hot in here. It's lucky. One of them fucking burning the fuck up. But it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. You know? So here, you know, look forward to more pain. You know, look forward to more draconian laws. You know, and look forward for more injustice. That's why we tell our people, Micah 2:10, this is not your rest. Arise, for this is not your rest. Cry unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. You know? But, like the scriptures say, the same shall know it. Alright? Know what? Know the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Know that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is not a joke. Know that you should have listened to the prophets. The same shall know that all those things after death by pain. Okay? And it's going to be more and more and more various legislations and, you know, stricter security measures. You know, because a nigga ain't going to stop being a nigga. Right? Even Yahweh Shai said, even Yahweh Shai, in so many words, pretty much said, like, a nigga ain't gonna stop being a nigga till he dies, man. You know? The only thing that Jake understands is death, so the Lord is about to send a sword on him. Alright, so if that... Oh, and I was thinking of it, you know, we always bring it out, 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, how, you know, especially going into this more draconian legislation we're about to enter into, it speaks on how a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. All right. It speaks on how. Let me just grab it real quick. You know, because this proves that they have to come down even harder, because the crime is going to get even worse. Right. It says. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their powers. Alright? And again, that's always been the case for 2/3 of our people. This is going to be on a everybody scale, so to speak. Not so to speak, this is going to be everyone that's not of the elect. They're going to lose it as they're losing their jobs. Things are getting more expensive. You know, stricter laws are being implemented upon them. They're going to lose it. Hey, food is not coming in. There's going to, we always speak on it. Could possibly be, very well be rolling blackouts coming this summer. You know, it's about to get bad, even worse. Whereas, as I mentioned before, as it's not that bad and they're implementing AI robots, how much more when it does get really bad. Alright. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Hey, Jake, you know, 2/3 of you Israelites, you pride yourself in being a murder capital of the world. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You know, so stay prayed up, you know, and prepare yourselves. As Yahweh Shah said, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. So if that, shalom to the elect.